Welcome to the Soul Happy Success Show. Coach Rebecca here, and today we're talking all about how to find your niche when you are multi-passionate. I literally went from 15 niches to one, but before we dive in, please like and subscribe. It helps so much, and I do love a comment, so please, if you have any questions, that's what the comment section is there for. And let's dive in because we are all multi-passionate. I know. I know you didn't expect it. It's as if, we think, oh, I'm multi-passionate. I'm so different from everyone else. But actually, we all are. And my niches used to be completely reflective of that. Health, yoga, careers, relationships, life, business. I've been there. I've done that. And I used to get really on my soapbox about I'm more than one thing. And where that came from, and I'm just going to be really honest because I like to be real with y'all, is it came from a place of ego and it came from a place of desperation because I was desperately seeking more content ideas because I was at the beginning and I didn't know what people wanted and I was confused and I was stressed. And if you relate, that's why you're here. We always seek new things because it's not the audience that's bored, it's us. You're bored. Saying the same thing again. How many times do I have to say, just get back up? How many times do I have to say, just meditate? How many times do I have to say, visualize? And that is a place of ego. That's a place of not coming from a place of empathy for others that need to be told every day. I have clients right now that I message every single day to remind them to visualize because it's something they're learning every single day to them. I'm like, remember the vision. And then they just like hit me back with an emoji and I'm like, okay, she remembered today. Good. And then they'll start to visualize themselves. They don't need me. So remember that your social media content is there for you to say to others, remember I do this thing. Remember I do this thing. Remember I do this one thing, same thing every day. And that might feel boring for you. But if you do less, you'll do it better and you'll be happier and you're more peaceful. That is one structured piece of content. I could do that every single day. Remember your vision today. Remember your vision today. How many fitness coaches do you know that are like getting my steps in? Every single one, because it's so important, right? Getting outside, getting my steps in, move your body. They might say it in different ways, but they're sharing the exact same thing, right? They're bored too, but they're just doing it. And I understand, but I don't want to limit myself. You're not limiting your life, my darling. You are infinite potential, as Deepak Chopra likes to tell me in my meditations, right? But you do want to limit your focus to do something well. If you're a perfectionist, you're going to love this, right? You want to limit your focus so you can do something well, because when you don't, this is what happens. That's where you're busy in the doing. That's where you get overwhelmed. And that's where you get burned out before you've even seen a client. The thing is that you can do anything, but you don't have to do everything. And that's where this multi-passionate idea starts to come in and it weaves into your life in such a way that it stops you taking action because you can't just choose one. And the kicker is, if you do one thing well, that means that you can do everything else, right? Because I have a solid one-to-one coaching business now, right? To the point where it is solid. I love my clients. They are all set to renew. And it's just such a gift. They've renewed multiple times. So I know that there's money coming in. And more importantly, there's more coming in than there is going out. That's the dream, right? But I can now do things like I came back to my YouTube channel a few months ago because I have the motivation and the energy and the excitement. I was able to launch group programs because I have the energy and the excitement and I can take on more because that part of my business, I know that's working. I know what to do to continue to make that work. And I know it's very simple. So now I can move on and I can integrate something new. But when you're at the beginning, you have to choose one thing. I went from one to group, because I have the time and the energy and the motivation. and you just start with one and you build, right? So it's time to separate your life from your business. And I understand that if you are a personal brand, every coach is their own personal brand, that this is challenging, but you are not your business. You are not your business. If my business doesn't do something that I thought it should do, if a sale doesn't come in, that doesn't mean that I am then just like raising hell at home and rude to my husband and angry and working more. That's not what it means. That means, something in the business isn't working. Better fix that. But we're still going to go on date night. We're still going to go and check on our cattle. We're still going to go and travel. We're still going to do all these things. It doesn't stop me from doing my life. So let's start to separate the two, because you are multi-passionate. Yes, you can share that on your social media as content. Absolutely. But your clients come to you to have one problem solved. And here's like a side tip. They come to you to have one problem solved, and they want you to show them the result all the time to prove that you have it. And alongside this perspective, we want to have 3 kind of checks for your business that you need to do to ensure your happiness and your profit with your niche. And we're going to start with that result, because the first check is you have to have walked through and come out the other end stronger and more peaceful with a result, so that you can show people how to do it. All right. So maybe you have an awesome handle on your anxiety when before you were too nervous to leave the house. Maybe you've overcome a traumatic relationship and now you know what it means to be in a loving and functional one and get back into dating. Or maybe you've had a difficult health diagnosis and you made some lifestyle changes and you reversed the effects and now you feel so good, better than you ever thought you could, and you want to share your system of doing that. For me, it was overcoming imposter syndrome when I had the certification, right? And now knowing I can absolutely be a life and a business coach without a life and a business coach certification, because I have the experience, I have the results, I learned my own way, which is what you're doing, is that you're learning something your way so that you can pass that on and help other people develop their own way, their own systems. That's what a coach does, right? Is it gets someone from A to B, and you have to have the result that shows that that's possible. If I'm showing that you can coach your client to get results through this framework, the DOPE method, vibe theory, if I'm saying that you can do that, then I have to show you my client results. I have to show you that they're doing it, to show that it's possible. I have to show that I have clients, I have to tell you that every second Friday I have calls from like 4 a.m. till 4 p.m. And I'm just like, these are all my calls, got 1 million calls today. And it's in the showing of that. This is how you interweave it with your social media. I know that's not what you were here for, but it's an epic bonus. You're welcome. If you don't have the result, if you're not sharing what the outcome is for that person once they have worked with you, they don't know if you can get them the result. And I see this all the time. I see people in their 9 to 5 saying they can help you leave your 9 to 5. They've not done it. They can't do it. I see people with 50 followers saying that they can increase your following to 10,000 followers. They don't know. They haven't done it. Unless these people have done it for other people. But then the question is, why would you trust someone that's not done it themselves if they're saying this is the best thing ever? So you will find 100 things, because you're multi-passionate. You'll find 100 things that you've done, that you've walked through, that you could teach other people. So once you have that list, right, you don't need the certification, you just need the result. Then we step into check 2. And check 2 is, now that you have a list, then for each problem you're solving, imagine the person before, right? The version of you before you had all these changes. In each scenario, do you want to hang out with that person? You want to hang out with that person, right? This is not employment. You work with who you want now, which is why, like, go through this list that you now have, right? I learned this from my first business coaches. Shout out Lani Nalu, Chris Spring, love them. And if you were to go on a retreat with this particular group of people, where would you go? In my mind, it's like somewhere beautiful, like Bali, and it's really spiritual. And, we stay up late singing mantras. And, I would just like all that stuff I would lap up, right? So imagine a retreat you would want to go to and then think, would this person go to that? And if they wouldn't, then you start questioning, oh, well, if they wouldn't go, why wouldn't they go? Why wouldn't they be interested in that? Why wouldn't they put themselves out there to do that? Because maybe you don't have the same interests. Maybe it's not the right fit. And if they are someone that would go, right, amazing. If you were to go with them, would you have fun? That's the second part of check 2 is, would you have fun? Would the conversation keep you all awake till the wee hours of the morning? Would you be interested and captivated and excited? And if the answer is yes to both those questions, try it. Try it. Like I've said before, I tried 15 niches before I landed here. It may take a few tries, but had I leaned into these two things at the beginning, my journey would have been way smoother. And now I want to give you check 3. And check 3, we're going to really broad brush over because I know that market research is a huge topic, but we have to check, is the market interested? And a few really simple ways to do that is, 1, if someone's already doing it, not from a place of comparison, which is what social media has taught us all to do, judge, compare, scroll, judge, compare, right? Not from a place of comparison, but if you're Googling, if you are, for example, life and business coaching, if I Google business coach, I will see there are many people doing it, many people profiting doing it, many people doing well doing it, many people that have the location freedom that I want, many people speaking on stages, which is what I want to do, that are doing it. Then it's like, oh, that checks all my boxes because the result's already there. So instead of comparing myself to all of the gurus that I absolutely look up to and idolize, I absolutely do, instead of comparing myself, I'm going to use them as like my shiny light, my beacon that says, this works. This works. The market's already here. And I'm going to study their verbiage and what they say and how they say it and the problems that they say they're solving. And I'm going to study that and think, oh, okay, this is what they're struggling with. So there's a way to do market research through other people that have already done market research. Or you can pull your Facebook. Go into a Facebook group. If you are working with parents, for example, right? Something that one of my clients is working on this right now, found out that parents are very concerned that their children aren't confident. And as we spoke about it, we started to recognize that maybe parents aren't that confident. So they want confidence for their children, but they maybe don't necessarily have it for themselves first. So what does that breed at home if you're teaching a child to be confident in one place and then their parents are saying something different? So, or they're seeing something different that's modeled, and we all model our parents. So I'm not a therapist, but it's practically a fact. Okay. So if she could then go into that group and say, I've noticed that there's a lot of people that are interested in confidence programs for their kids. Would you be interested in attending a confidence program alongside your child so that you get the best results? Yes or no? Very simple. The market will literally tell you in a Facebook poll. I will preach Facebook groups as being, golden for forever. I've made so much money in Facebook groups. Like, it is just chef's kiss perfect. I love them. So that's a really simple way to do it. And ask market research questions to people that you have identified that are in your niche. For example, if you're doing a confidence program like we are just talking about for parents, if you have friends that are parents, ask them questions about it. Would they be interested in something like this? What would they expect that to include? What would they want from it? What are their challenges that they're facing right now? And then you're going to physically feel if this is right for you or wrong for you. You will have a physical reaction to the information that you're getting. It will either energize you and you'll think, oh my gosh, I can totally help you. I can 100% help you solve that. I have this tool. I know this. I went through this. If you feel like that, oh, winner, winner, chicken dinner. If you don't, if you feel like, oh my gosh, this is like too dramatic, I cannot deal with this is too much, then back to the drawing board, back to your list, back to check one. What have you walked through and come out the other end and have the result that you might want to share? So those 3 checks are really going to help. And just to go over them, check 1 is what have you walked through and come out the other end? Peaceful, stronger, ready to share. Check 2, would you retreat with these people? Would you hang out with them? Right? Would you guys want to do the same things? And check 3, is the market interested? Which is, the first 2 are determining factors of your happiness. Third one is, are you going to make money out of it? And it's something you have to really consider as a business decision. So that was how to choose a niche if you're multi-passionate. There's a few checks in there, a little bit of perspective at the beginning. I'll be back here next week. And in the meantime, I'll be over here believing in you, knowing you can do it, and available for any questions in the comments. I'll see you next week.